What's up? What's up? So this is Get Your Angle Sports, and we just checked out Thursday night football, and it was the beginning. It was first week, and pretty darn exciting. I was up the whole night just watching games, and they were good games from beginning to end. A lot more competitive than you would normally think. What do you think, Professor?
Yeah, because I started watching them around 4, and I think I
Yeah,
ended up going the San Jose State Sac State game. It ended like close to 11 o'clock.
it was pretty darn good, and from the very beginning, I checked it out and I started watching right away. The North Carolina State game was super competitive, and I'm like, what's going on? Because we had the last week zero where it was Georgia Tech, Florida State. That was competitive, and then you had the Montana State beating New Mexico. So now I'm wondering, is it going to be this whole season going to be different now that North Carolina State with the new quarterback and all the changes they've made, and first of all, being a top 25 team, you think they would be able to cover at least 20 points, and they weren't even able to cover 20 points.
No,
So
they were struggling. That game was like, I want to say they were down going into the fourth, or it was pretty close.
absolutely, and then they just kind of took off, kind of like the San Jose State game where it was
Yeah,
all
yeah, where
dark.
the scores, it's bigger than what it actually was.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That game was very close down to the very end, and I mean, when I was making my bet, I was going back and forth between San Jose State and Sac State because I know Sac State's pretty good and San Jose State's very depleted. So I wasn't ready to just take San Jose State, even though the spread was so low. But you got to think San Jose State's a better team, a better recruiting team than Sac State, and somehow it just ended up being that they just took over. I didn't see a talent discrepancy. This looked like two even teams, and as always, San Jose State looked smaller. They looked very small, huh?
Yeah, they didn't show us in the second half. They didn't do anything.
Yeah, were you saying Sac
Sac
State or
State,
San Jose State?
yeah, Sac State, they didn't show up in the second half. I want to say San Jose State ended up winning by like 11 points, even though it wasn't an 11-point game.
Yeah, 24 to 42. Yeah, so
Oh,
that
that
was
14 point. Yeah.
14-point game, but it was very close. That doesn't, that's not a great depiction of the game. But North Carolina State ended up winning 38 to 21. So I was expecting some of these good teams to kind of, you know, that first 2 weeks where they get the cupcake and they just blow them out like crazy. And it wasn't so much that. There was one game that I was looking at. Well, UCF destroyed New Hampshire 3-57, and I do like their quarterback. He's got wheels. But
Yeah, they killed.
Arkansas, yeah,
Yeah, they destroyed Arkansas, destroyed Missouri, destroyed, and then Utah. They were just kind of playing with.
ugh,
I don't remember who they were playing, but they won pretty
yeah,
easily. Cam Rising played. He started.
I know. And when he scored his first touchdown, you thought there would be some kind of like big celebration for Cam, but it's his year. It's his year to win the Heisman, to make it to the college football playoff, everything. Like I just told you on Tuesday when we did our last show, this is Cam Rising's year. I know you're not a big Cam fan, but
This
I am
was
going
like
to.
his
What?
10th year.
It's his seventh year, I think, officially. But yeah, he's got like a wife and kids, and he's going on vacations. He's got a retirement plan, everything, and
He's got a
he's probably
401k.
yeah he's probably making Social Security right now. He's getting Medicare, but he needs Medicare for how many times he's got hurt. There's no guarantee he's going to make it through this whole season. Do
No,
you and
and then
I saw Arkansas destroyed Arkansas Pine Bluff, so 70-0. Do you have any thoughts on Arkansas? Are they really, legit in the SEC this year? Because it is a tough division, obviously.
No, they gotta schedule those those cake wins so they can get to a bowl game because once conference play starts, they're gonna be in a rude awakening.
Yeah, I think they are going back to the kind of running triple option, who has the ball kind of football. They're not really doing that quarterback in the a pocket kind of play like the rest of the SEC usually does. So I think that's going to be a big disadvantage once they get to because they don't got a Darren McFadden. They just got some good athletes.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
then
know.
I think
Pro-
they lost that one guy, Jefferson. I don't know if he played. That was like KJ Jefferson or something. I think he
Yeah.
transferred somewhere else.
Well, I know he didn't go to the NFL, but let me see. Yeah, no, he's not on the team.
Yeah, I was mostly watching the in the beginning. It was the Colorado game, and then the North Carolina game.
Exactly. Yeah, I was gonna get to that because obviously those are the big games that we watched. But I just wanted to go over real quick some of the lesser games. So it looks
Yeah,
like they have a quarterback T Green, and he went 16 for 23, and he had a ton of rushing yards too, 101 rushing yards for Arkansas. So Green is a running quarterback, but yeah, so that's something to remember.
and then
Were there any other games that kind of stood out to you?
well, I didn't really stand out, but I know Kansas has a good team, and they played some like Lindlewood or Lindle something. I know they won by like 40 something points.
Yeah, 48-3, and we were talking about that because we weren't sure if they were going to do their high octane offense like they normally have. Didn't they lose their offensive coordinator?
They lost him, and they lost some other guys.
Yeah, so you don't know what to expect from Kansas, but it looks like they did what they're supposed to do. They stayed in the top 25, and they destroyed. They play really good at home too. That is a huge advantage for them. Now, Coastal Carolina versus Jacksonville State. I was almost going to lean towards Jacksonville State because Coastal Carolina lost McCall, like you were telling us about on Tuesday.
They got spanked. I had I had that game in my on one of my boxes, and they were up like double digits like the whole game. It was like 50 something or like the 20 something. They were just scoring a bunch.
Yeah, Coastal Carolina seems to be that program seems to just plug and play whoever they want because McCall was huge last year, but apparently it wasn't him. And he's at what Minnesota? No, he's not at Minnesota. That's Bramser or something like that. Where did McCall go?
Even went to NC State. We just talked about him. We just saw him
Oh yeah,
yesterday.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's kind of the reason I thought NC State would be so good. But this shows you right here, Coastal Carolina didn't lose anything, and actually NC State got worse. So wow, that's pretty incredible. But then, to be fair, NC State never usually has a passing game, so you would think this would be the one. But let's go to. I didn't watch this Colorado game, and I didn't bet on them because it was a little bit scary. North Dakota State is always like at the top of their F FCS or is
FCS.
it F?
Yeah,
Yeah, yes.
I
So
think
they're the
they're
number
FCS.
one. Yeah, Division two. I don't know if it's is it called Division two. I know it's just called
I don't.
FCS. Let's
Yeah, yeah. I'm not
let's say it's
sure.
Division. They're always number one. They're always fighting for that top spot, and they should probably be pulled up to the higher college football teams. What did you think about this game? Can you kind of break it down?
It's the same old from last year. They throw the ball a bunch. They were getting a whole bunch of yards, but like the what do you call it? North Dakota State, they're kind of running the ball down their throats, which is that's not. If they're running it down your throats, I can't imagine what the other schools are going to do. Colorado,
Yeah, that's for
yeah,
sure. Because
and then and then towards the end they had to like stack the box, and then that's when they started getting stops. But yeah, they didn't really look that. Everyone was like, "Oh my god!" But Sanders looked good, and then the Hunter guy, he was making a lot of plays. But they got more talent than that's the FCS school, you know.
I don't know, man. I don't know if this North Dakota State is, legit. They might have a ton of talented players that just didn't really have the grades or want to go to one of those schools where they ask so much of them, out of them. But they're playing. Colorado is going to Nebraska. Do you think Nebraska's better than North Dakota State?
Well, Nebraska, they got that one rookie, that one freshman quarterback that I guess they like with the NIL. They gave him like I think it's like $5 million or something.
Wow. Well, I don't think any team is really going to outscore if they just want to go, score for score. I think Colorado's going to have a great chance. But
I
if
think,
they play some
I,
defense,
yeah, Colorado, they're gonna win like I'd say they win maybe like 5 games or something. They'll be lucky to
wow,
make a bowl game, like 6-6.
yeah. So Horn Jr. Had like 196 yards. Jimmy Horn Jr.
Yeah, he had like I think like an 80-yard touchdown pass. They were
Yeah,
just throwing bombs, you know.
yeah. And did it Shador? Did he get out of the pocket? Did he have a lot of pressure? Because we know last year he was getting hit a lot.
He was getting hit a lot. The problem is they just like go deep, and this line can't protect them, you know. And I think
Yeah.
they're trying to pad up his stats, you know, so he can win the Heisman and be like a top 5 pick.
So he had 445 yards. That's huge. That's
Yeah, because
crazy.
they didn't really have like time of possession. It was mostly just North Dakota State.
Yeah. I'm surprised because Shador only had 17 rushing yards. I mean, they only
Yeah,
had 20 rushing yards from their running back.
yeah, they didn't really run the ball.
That's insane. He was just throwing it all over, as opposed to North Dakota State, who was running the ball. So obviously, the time of possession goes to North Dakota State. They were probably just trying to keep it out of their hands and milk the clock, I guess, because it's kind of
Yeah,
a low score.
yeah, because what's his name? I saw T.O. was there. He was like a guest, and I guess Warren Sapp's like on the coaching staff.
Hmm, interesting. Yeah, well, T.O.'s not doing anything. He's got free time. I
Nah,
mean, heck, I would be there if I was like, you know, if I was like a former football player and they invited me. I'd be like, sure, I got nothing else to do. All I know is football. I mean, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do on a Saturday night or a Thursday night? I
Thursday,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, so might as well go out there. But what's T.O.'s alma mater? Where did he go?
I think he went to like Chattanooga or something like that, some random college.
That's a good point because I mean that's a good when you think of North Dakota State, it's kind of like T.O. going to a North Dakota State. You're going to find players like T.O. at a North Dakota State. That's why they're such good value. I almost took North Dakota State. I was going back and forth between these two teams because I have a ton of respect for them, but I just couldn't pull the trigger either way.
No, it's like it's just a stay away from game.
Yeah, well, I thought just taking a Colorado money line would be a good bet, or I was going to do like a 7 point teaser, and they won by 5 points, so that would have covered. And any other takes from the North Dakota State Colorado? game?
No, not really. Just,
Travis
just
Hunter, did he play both ways?
yeah. I think he only didn't play maybe like a few snaps here on offense and defense. He was on the field basically the whole game.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think he had like 3 touchdowns.
Dying to get hurt, man.
Well, that and he's a cornerback. Eventually, it's gonna wear down on your legs. You're gonna get kind of slow and get beat.
Yeah, he did have 3 touchdowns. Yeah, you're gonna look bad for what reason? Maybe play like half the defensive snaps? I don't know. You're telling me they couldn't recruit some more
Some
whatever,
more
maybe some
corners.
more wide receivers or corners, whatever. Just give him
Yeah,
a
I think
break.
that's yeah. Because if I was him, I'd just play wide receiver, dude. Look at how much the wide receivers are making. They make more than the corners.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Even a top-notch corner?
They could probably make what does Jalen Ramsey make like 20?
I don't know. I have no idea. I
That's
know
that's,
Curry
that's
makes
probably
60 million.
yeah. We should play basketball then.
Yeah. But did you think anything of the North Dakota State quarterback Cam Miller? Apparently, this is his 5th year.
He looked all right. Well, I'm assuming they won the national champion last year since they're always winning it.
Yeah. But 5th year, I like that. That's experience. I mean, it doesn't mean he's great, but he knows that system, right?
Yeah, they all know what's up.
It's basically like Western Kentucky. What's his name? Zappy staying there for like 20 years, and the other quarterback, I can't remember his name, but
Yeah, I saw they're playing Alabama tomorrow.
no way. Oh
Yeah,
man, poor Western Kentucky. They're gonna get destroyed. They better not wear their nice uniforms. Just try to go unnoticed. That's a
yeah.
disaster. Oh, but they're probably getting paid what 20 million to show up. I don't know. That
I'm
gets
probably a
pretty
few
crazy.
million. Yeah.
Yeah, something in the millions, that's for sure. Let's talk about the game that I did bet on. So our
Minnesota.
bankroll bet, yeah, North Carolina traveling to Minnesota. So I figured, Minnesota's got this new quarterback. I believe he was out of Drake, and he put up numbers over there, and I really liked him. Minnesota, it doesn't even matter. Minnesota never has a quarterback, so if he's better than anything they've had, and the defense was returning, I think like 8 starters. So that gives me a lot of
That is
confidence.
North Carolina. They lost their quarterback during the game. I think they have the
Yes.
Max Johnson. I think he was the A&M quarterback, right?
Well, they had two
Or
quarterbacks that they were
yeah,
switching out, so they haven't set a starter. But I believe now this guy sewn up a solid starter position. But he's a running quarterback, not a passing one. So I thought, okay, they're gonna contain him, and they just couldn't. It was back and forth, and it was a pretty good game. Minnesota should have won, and North Carolina just stuck around. What I noticed
their
about North
kicking was
Carolina,
making everything, dude.
what's that?
The North Carolina quarterback, not quarterback, kicker was kicking the crap out of that ball, dude. He was making all some long field goals.
Yeah, yeah, the North Carolina, as opposed to last year, Minnesota had the best kicker in the game, and now they got this guy. Holy smokes, man! Just this guy's awful. This
Yeah,
guy's awful.
once they lined up to the kick, I was like, oh, they're too far. They're too far. They're not gonna make it.
I thought they were a lot closer because they had a heck of a drive going,
It
and
went.
then
Yeah, yeah, because they were. It looked like they were gaining a bunch of chunk yards, I'm like, oh, this is
Yeah,
gonna be a chip shot. And then when they line it up, I was like, I think it's like a 40 something yarder.
47. Yeah,
Uh,
it was ridiculous. It was way too long. I thought they were like inside 20 or something. I thought they were in the red zone, and then they showed it. I'm
yeah,
like, what the freak? Oh man, this is really bad because obviously that kicker sucks. And it's a
yeah,
two
and
point
he
game.
already
We
missed
got
one.
2 points. Oh my goodness, it's better than losing, but uh,
And then they
so we
had
got
the North Carolina had the extra timeout, so they even iced them some more.
yeah, yeah. And the fumble is what really killed us. So I was looking at North Carolina, and their strength by far is those defensive ends. Both sides, they're just bullies, man. They get in there. And the one guy with the club, he was just swinging that like a baseball player.
Yeah, he
Uh,
forced that one fumble. The club dude.
yeah, that was the game changer because it was right
Yeah,
there, right in front of the other end zone.
the end
So
zone.
that changed the game. Yeah, and they couldn't score. They couldn't do much, but Minnesota couldn't do much. And there at the end, the quarterback for Minnesota, he was really showing what he's made of. But I think that obviously we know Minnesota. They're very conservative and they're not trying to push it. They took all the confidence out of that team. It's not like what's his name from the Seattle Seahawks, the
Pete
coach.
Carroll.
Yeah, Pete Carroll. You're like, we're going for it. He's not conservative, and you can feel it,
No,
and you know that's what you're doing. But with PJ Fleck, it's just like you get scared, and he sends that fear to his team. And if they're not running the ball and like just doing everything that they're supposed to do, they suck.
it's like a typical Big Ten team where they're just like, we're just gonna play some special teams, some defense, run the ball, and
Yeah,
we're gonna make our kicks and just make it an ugly game.
yeah. And boy, was it an ugly game. It was exciting though. It was a
It
fun
was
game. It
close.
was. It was. Yeah, I had a good time. So with the Colorado game, the Minnesota game, and then the San Jose State game, that was a good day. As
Yeah,
opposed
yeah,
to today.
yeah. Today the best game is probably the Stanford TCU game, and uh, I know Oklahoma plays some. I don't know who they play. They're like 40 something point favorites.
I'm excited to see Oklahoma, but I don't think I'll get anything from it. I'm also excited to see Duke play without Riley Leonard and see
Yeah.
what kind of team
Well,
they should
they
play.
got a big game tomorrow.
Yeah, they're playing today.
No, they play tomorrow. Riley Leonard.
No. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Notre Dame, he said.
Yeah, they're playing. I think they're playing Texas A&M.
Oh, oh man, that's a big game. That's a
Yeah,
big
and then in the
test
morning.
right off the bat.
Yeah,
But Riley Leonard,
and
he
then
knows what he's doing.
yeah, and then in the morning it's Georgia versus Clemson. That's a good game.
Yeah, yeah. Georgia Clemson, you can't beat that. You never get something like that in week one. So, what do you think about this TCU Stanford game?
Well, I
Yeah,
know Stanford. They have. I think they have a brand new staff, or I don't know. I don't know when did their coach
second year.
retire last year? Second year?
Yeah, yeah. This is second year,
Right. Stanford, they
and
they haven't been doing well lately.
I think TCU is this is second year for that coach. They went to the championship game, got
Championship.
destroyed, and then this year, I mean this last year, they went like 5-9 or some bull crap like that.
Yeah,
But
because they lost all their starters from the championship run.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know what to make of this TCU team, but the quarterback, he's new for TCU, and he put up like 2,000 yards in the last 6 games, and really, really played well. So I don't know what to make of it. I don't think this is a game you want to bet on. especially since they're traveling to Stanford.
Yeah, it's a night game on a
Yeah,
Friday.
do you really want to be giving up 8.5 points on the Friday night lights?
Yeah, even though it is Stanford, but there's
But Stanford recruits well too. It's not like Stanford. They usually get like 1, 2 players that are awesome. They usually have recruit some offensive line players, and I don't know. I don't know. They usually figure something out to make it a real ugly game and to make some big plays. I re- was Who was it that played? I can't remember if Stanford had a huge comeback last year, but
it was against Colorado.
oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was against Colorado, but Colorado
Colorado.
ended up winning, right? Or did Stanford win?
No, Stanford won.
Yeah, and they just had some huge plays. They always do that. Break off an 80-yard, reception or something that just changes it. They're hard to tackle. They're always big, and TCU is usually small.
Yeah, well, they spread the ball out. That's their style.
Yeah, so I don't know if they can control it. I have my guy that my Stanford expert. He said bet against Stanford, but I don't think he's talking about the spread.
Yeah, because they lost to one quarterback. I think Cannon Key was their quarterback last year. I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Well, they've been working on finding a good quarterback for that team for like what 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, because they had him. I think Davis Mills was their quarterback. Yeah, they haven't had a quarterback in a while.
Yeah, it's hard to see what either of these teams. I think I'm looking towards that Penn State game for the bankroll pick, but there's a
Oh,
couple
against
other
West
games.
Virginia. It's West Virginia,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, I like Penn
and
State. I think it's 8.5, or something like that.
yeah, yeah, and I think the thing I like about the beginning of the season is you kind of predict how they're going to play and who's going to be good, and then kind of ride them out. The first couple of games. But yeah,
The the
I
one
feel
I
very.
the one I like for Sunday is the LSU game. I think they're gonna embarrass them.
So who's LSU playing?
USC. They play at the Raiders Stadium.
Oh. So you think LSU is going to destroy USC?
Yeah,
I wonder what the spread is. Let me
I think it's
see.
4.
So the West Virginia spread is 7.5.
That's not a lot.
I mean, it's got the hook. Maybe you buy the half. Maybe you tease it with LSU. Let's see what LSU is.
It's like
New
4 and a
Mexico.
half.
New Mexico's going to Arizona, but that's 30 points. That's
Yeah,
yeah,
Arizona. They got a good team, dude.
they do, and New Mexico just lost to Montana State, so you right.
Yeah,
So LSU is 4.5 point favorite.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
basically a home game for at USC, but they lost a whole bunch of dudes, and Caleb's not there to bail them out anymore.
yeah, and
Well, they both lost their quarterbacks.
there's just levels to this, and LSU talent is definitely on a different level. That's for sure.
Yeah,
That's not going to happen. I mean, just pick the money line, right? Just pick LSU money line. LSU's not losing, and that's only 4.5 points. So you're probably what minus 180,
two
minus
something,
200. Yeah,
something. I would guess.
that's not bad. And maybe parlay it with a Penn State win. You probably get even money.
They're close to it. Yeah, like right
Yeah, I
around
might
there.
exactly. That's two teams that aren't going to lose, but we'll look at it and then we'll release our pick and go from there because we pushed so far, but Push is better than a loss, that's for sure. Let's see what we got. Any last takes? Anything else you're looking at or looking forward to?
No, just that, and I guess the Clemson game tomorrow, and then Fresno State's playing Michigan tomorrow. Good luck with that.
Yeah, send them a care package and, wish them well. Go check out the Great Lakes, do some sightseeing while you're there because it's not going to be much of a game. Even though you think Michigan kind of sucks, they're still Michigan, right?
Yeah, they're still Michigan. They still just won the national championship. Everyone's going to be
Oh,
pumped.
oh man, you think they do the ceremony or something?
I heard
Hand out
I
the
heard
ring?
Harbaugh's going to be there.
Whoa, that's pretty cool.
There's they're saying he might be like an honorable captain or something.
Dang. Yeah, that's gonna pump them up. But Michigan usually just they're kind of like just a better Iowa, right?
Yeah.
It's not like they're gonna put up 50 points. They will get these runs where they just break free and they break off about. Do you expect a passing game to be good for Michigan?
I don't think so because they have that one quarterback, Orgy. He just runs around. I don't really see him as a passer.
Well, I wonder what this coach is going to do. He's probably going to coach like Harbaugh, but they pretty much put a muzzle on JJ McCarthy. He could have done a lot more. I still don't know what JJ McCarthy can do, and we won't know this year
You
either.
want to know for
That
a
guy,
year?
yeah. I just want to know what this guy can do. Can we just see him play some football? Can someone let him throw the ball, please? He might be like really good, and he could just be a bust.
Yeah.
Whatever. We'll see. All right, man. So
All right, man.
that's it for Thursday. Until next time. Peace.
Peace.